Good evening, Greg here, burner both ends. Burner on the back end of Monday. It is June 4th, 2018, about 11:15 Mountain Daylight Time. Learned about the difference between Mountain Daylight Time and Mountain Standard Time, off by an hour. Kind of confusing, but anyway, I'm here in Lakewood, Colorado. I'm here for about 4 days until Friday for this ICorps training, this entrepreneurial training about technology transfer. I'm so psyched to be here. And yeah, so we just got here to the hotel. My team and I worked all afternoon to get our assignments ready for the morning. We start tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And so tonight's post is all about ICorps, and I created a CPR around ICorps. So I gave a talk about a CPR before. CPR means context, purpose, results. And this is a great way just to bring clarity and organization to almost anything you can possibly think of doing in life. Typically, they're used for a meeting, and then the work product that comes out of it is an agenda, but it can be used for anything. It can be used for ICorps. It can be used for the year 2018 for me, or a month I really want to kick it up a notch, or a meeting, or Valentine's Day, or pretty much anything. It just brings a lot of clarity, and it brings clarity through organization, as you know, I'm a big fan of. And so we will just simply go through my CPR here, and I'll talk about it, and we'll go through it in reverse order, because typically it's context, purpose, results, but you always start with the results first. So you always start the CPR saying, okay, I just finished that thing, I got these results, and here's the evidence that I got those results, right? And so the power of the CPR is to create clarity and intention. And so I want to be someone that takes my own advice. I don't just talk about this stuff and then expect other people to do it, but I don't. So I created a CPR around ICorps. And I had to say, I'm so excited and I'm so grateful to be a part of this ICorps program, and that I get to be paid to get this kind of really awesome entrepreneurial training, which I just think is fantastic. So I want to double down on my commitment to this course. And so a CPR is an obvious place to start for me. And so we will go through the CPR in the same way that I created it, by going through the results first. And so result number one, the team executes at least 75 customer discovery interviews, as evidenced by the count and data of interviews in Innovation Within. And so Innovation Within is simply the online platform. Got a little typo there in my outline. And so that's just a cloud-based platform that we use to log our interviews, so it'll keep account for us. And the key thing is the evidence. Like, how do I know I got this? Now, this one's pretty straightforward and simple. Either I did 75, or I did 71, or I did 95, or, so it'll be pretty easy. But the critical thing is solid interviews, good data from the interviews, and analysis of that data into our business model. Number two, the team learns, grows, and improves on ICorps concepts, as evidenced by the positive feedback from our instructors. So the first thing, the way that this course is instructed is it's pretty hardcore. It's almost like drill sergeant-like, right? Be on time. There's lots of nitpicky rules, but it's all for the greater good. It's all because if I was in a real startup and I was really in the market is not going to be forgiving, right? Either they buy or they don't. It's very binary. There's no, well, you get a trophy, for just showing up. It doesn't work that way. It's you go out of business because you didn't sell enough, or because you didn't market properly, or you were talking to the wrong people, or you had the wrong product, right? So this training is hardcore like that. And so if the instructors are giving us good feedback, because they're watching us week by week, if they're saying, hey, you guys are really learning and you're pivoting and you're taking in the feedback and you're growing and you're adapting your business model, that is really good feedback. Result number three. So we are proposing for some money this coming year, and we want to use the results of this ICorps training to go into that proposal. And so pretty much this result is the team obtains valuable input for the proposal, as evidenced by Thomas being thrilled with the final proposal. So Thomas is one of the lead scientists on the project. So Thomas is very high up where I work. So if he's happy with what we've given him, then that's a great sign. That means that we have a very strong proposal, and we'll have a very good chance of winning. And if we win, then we can move this technology forward, and great things will happen. So now I'm going to get into the personal results. So on every CPR and the results, there needs to be personal results for me personally, since I wrote the CPR. So number one is or the first personal result is I commit fully and become a leader among equals as evidenced by comments from the cohort. And so this leader among equals concept, I gave a talk about or a post about a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago. This is this concept of you're in a team or I'm in a team and there's a flat management structure. Yet by taking action and taking initiative and being of service, I can, kind of step forward as a leader among my equals, and I'll be seen that way. And that's actually the purest form of leadership, is when someone just does it organically as opposed to being assigned with some title. That is the purest form, because then you will have people truly falling in behind you because they really respect you, as opposed to I was given a title and now because of company rules you need to listen to what I say. So organic leadership is the best. And if people in the cohort are saying this, then that means that it's really true and it's really happening. It's not some image in my head. So I'm going to be listening for feedback, and I'm already hearing some, and it's very positive, and it just juices me up. And my second personal result is I build relationships, create connections, and schedule follow-ups as evidenced by a list of folks and follow-up meetings on my calendar, right? The whole purpose of this is to meet people, right? It's all about relationships and timing. And so I want to build relationships. I want to have follow-ups. I'm going to have more business models to get opinions on. I'm looking for wisdom. I'm looking for advice. I'm looking to build and grow myself. And this only happens by me putting myself out there, by meeting new people, by making connections, and just continuing the discussion. And that only happens in follow-ups and more meetings. So I'm psyched for that process. All right, so now let's go up to the purpose. So those are the results. And just to sum up, 75 customer discovery interviews, improve on the concepts, value for the proposal, become a leader among equals, and then create connections and have follow-ups. So those are the results. So the purpose, and now the purpose is a little clunky, but that's okay because this document is really just for me. So the purpose is, the purpose is in 4 pieces. It's to blah, 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 something. By some action so that some result, and with that, the big vision can be realized. So 2, experience an intense version of the lean startup training by showing up with 100% commitment so that we can learn, grow, and pivot to create a robust business model. So just for those that don't know, pivot is this concept of, when I first put together a business model, I'm forced to make guesses on how I think it's going to go. I'm forced to make guesses on who my customers are, why they're going to buy, what they're going to buy. And then the whole point of the customer discovery interviews is I go out in the real market and I find out if that's true or not. And if I find out that I was wrong, which is most likely, then I pivot. Okay, maybe they didn't want that feature, but they love this feature. I'm going to add that and I'm going to accentuate it and double down on it, right? So kind of things like that. And so the pivot is the act of changing the business direction early on because of data and market research. And that's kind of the whole point of this whole ICorps thing, is to learn about a poor business decision as soon as possible, right? Not spend 3 years and $20 million to learn that, but talk to a few customers, figure it out early, make a pivot, and then move into a direction where now customers are going to adopt the product. Okay. And then the last piece of the purpose, and with that, sharpen our entrepreneurial swords and cross the chasm of technology transfer and build a profitable company. And so crossing the chasm is this concept of you have technology, you have profitable project, and you have this huge gap between them. That is the chasm. And so how does one cross the chasm? This is the big challenge of any tech transfer project. And so let me read the purpose again. I'll read it more fluidly now. Purpose: to experience an intense version of the lean startup training by showing up with 100% commitment so that we can learn, grow, and pivot to create a robust business model. And with that, sharpen our entrepreneurial swords and cross the chasm of technology transfer and build a profitable company. And so I think that's a pretty solid purpose, right? And then my context, and this is something I touched on this morning, is be the entrepreneur I always wanted to be. And so what that means is that's just a phrase that goes in my head. That's almost never spoken at the meeting. It'd be odd to actually say that during the course, or just, to speak that. This is more something that's kind of more subtle. It's more subconscious. And so if I realize I'm getting off course, if I realize I'm not putting in the effort, or I'm getting a little bit lazy, or I'm half-fasting something, my context snaps me into place. So my context, okay, be the entrepreneur I always wanted to be. What would the entrepreneur I always wanted to be do in this situation? So here I am. Let's just give an example. I don't feel like making these phone calls this afternoon. That is not the entrepreneur I always wanted to be. And so here is a little opportunity. I'm going sideways a little bit. I'm not doing calls. I'm not doing what I should be doing. This context snaps me right back. And so that's the whole purpose of the CPR. So I think this is a pretty solid CPR. It's pretty simple. I'm really excited for this program. And that's tonight's post. So I hope that you enjoyed the CPR topic. Please subscribe if you like what you hear. The whole point of this channel is this is my aspiring entrepreneurial pathway that I'm taking in life, my journey. I'm really enjoying this journey. This is very exciting for me. And so please subscribe. Give me comment. Put some comments down below. Ask me some questions. I'd love to, help you solve some problems. And if I can, I want to be of service. That's the whole point of this, is that I can help other folks. I'm so lucky to be in a position to obtain the wisdom that I've obtained, and to be in a position like in this ICorps program to get even more. And so I want to pass it down. I want to pass it on. I want to be of service, to the entrepreneurial community. Other things down below in the description, I've linked some motivational videos. Check those out. Those are just fantastic videos. I got a lot of good music down there, so I don't have beats behind this video, but I have G Money's my alter ego. I write these drum songs, so check those out on SoundCloud. There's a link down below. And then I've got some great psychedelic ambient mixes down there, and then a great mix by a DJ set by DJ Sabo. So check those out. Those are really fantastic music. So that's tonight's post from the hotel. I got a new setup tonight. I'm going through my Chromebook with my Logitech camera, so I think it's working out pretty well. And that's it for tonight. So I'm going to get some rest, some much deserved rest, and wake up tomorrow fresh. I'll do a post before we start ICorps, and then we'll get into it. So y'all have a great day. Have a great night. Well, it's past day. Have a great night. Sleep well, and wake up tomorrow and just do some great things and inspire some folks. Good night.